Look at that, zoom in. Good morning, good afternoon, and or good evening, wherever you're receiving this audio. Welcome back to another episode of the Busted Coverage Podcast here on YouTube as well as on Spotify. As you can tell, we are live in person, in full effect. Hello, world. How's it going? I am Nick Persampieri, as you can tell, now. And I'm here with my co-hosts Cam Griffin and Matt Baywood.
Nice.
Said it right.
That's right. Wrong the last
Can't
few
confuse
weeks.
people on the first.
Right, yeah, can't confuse them when I'm sitting right there with them, right? But yes, this is our first time on camera. You guys get to see our handsome faces and our handsome beards and our goatees and everything like that. We are at Baywoods house. Nice and comfortable setting. Before we get started, we want to thank you guys for tuning in as always. We appreciate all the support. Make sure you guys are liking and commenting on the channel as well. We'd love to hear your takes, ask us questions. We would love to shout you guys out on the show as well. So with that said, before we get started, because technically Baywood is our moderator this evening, we're doing a little bit of a shorter format, but he had a little bit of an impromptu surprise that he's been planning. So with that, I'm going to let you take over and do your thing, man.
All right, I'm very excited. This has been it zoomed out real quick, so you're gonna see this nice big box here.
Yeah, there it is.
So Christmas came early for Kim today.
Yes.
There's only one of these. These I had to be on StockX for 2 weeks looking for these. These are Angel Reese ones.
One of ones.
And you want to know why? Because Cam invited me back to 6:30 a.m. basketball in Newtown. So I figured I'd get him limited edition, steel toe, Angel Reese, Caterpillar One work boots, because it's OSHA certified for all the bricks he's laying up on the court. So here you go.
All the bricks. Who's laying?
You.
Don't look at me. I had no idea this was happening.
I don't even want to open this.
Nick and I are going to get hard hats next
There's
week.
a bow on it.
To make sure nothing jumps out, if you know Matt, I'm going to just face it towards Nick.
Yeah, let it jump out at me.
All right. So I was told for weeks I'm getting a gift.
Are those game worn?
These are lightly used.
Those are game
They
worn.
might have a spider web.
Oh, yo, they're autographed by Angel Reese right here. Look at that. That's Angel Reese.
Caterpillar, I love it. You know,
Hey.
It's not my size.
They're not
so
in
I'm giving back.
Chicago Sky team colors.
No. Look, this is brown. Brown and yellow. Anybody black and yellow? Black and yellow.
Yeah, right. A little whiz.
You're now a certified bricklayer.
I am now a certified steel toe boot. I don't even know what to say.
Now give those back. I need them for the dog.
No.
He's the Meat Bounds,
I
Connecticut
want them.
chapter president.
I want them.
I knew you weren't expecting something like that.
No, I mean, you only got me nothing for my actual birthday, but this is great.
I got you cologne.
Wow. What kind of cologne?
I think it was Paris Blue.
Paris Blue.
I believe so.
Yeah, let's see the receipts. I don't remember getting any cologne.
You were
from
drunk by the time I gave it to you.
Mm-hmm.
That's
A
why he
likely
got
story.
it. Yeah.
A likely
He's
story.
like, he won't remember this.
I don't exactly. If
Anyway,
you know Matt, that's usually the scenario.
so in all seriousness, now we're going to move on to our regularly scheduled program here.
Yes.
We had 2 weeks of college football. Already, it's crazy how quick that went.
Yeah.
Week 1, we saw a big debut of Arch Manning as the starting quarterback for Texas.
Mm-hmm.
They played a huge game against Ohio State, and I wanted to get your opinion on that game and also his rebound week, because he did lose that game in week 2. Nick, I'll start with you. Do you think Arch Manning lost his Heisman capability already, or do you think he has a chance to bounce back?
I am going to take the red cup half full approach here. As you guys see, we have red cups on the table.
Clever.
Speaking of which, hold on, let me get this open.
Hennessy, please sponsor us.
Very special, as it's called by some people who consume. Now, drink responsibly. We'll go ahead and crack this open.
I thought he was going to keep pouring.
I did too.
Just kidding. Now, when it comes to... Oh, also Hennessy, please sponsor us. We'll love your product. When it comes to Arch Manning, the last name kind of took over the person of Arch Manning. The expectation was high as the sky. He's only thrown, 50 or 60 passes in college before becoming the full-time starter? If that, maybe. Right? He sat behind Quinn Ewers for a year. And his first start on the road against the defending national champion Buckeyes, who probably should have been ranked number 1 in the preseason poll. They are now number 1 since they beat Texas. But, and you're right, Arch did not play well in that game. I think that was a factor of you're playing an extremely talented defense in a hostile environment, and it's his first road start. Now, did he lose his Heisman potential based on the odds? Maybe. I don't think so. I think he can bounce back. It's obviously going to take some stellar performances against some good competition because he's in the SEC. So it doesn't get easy, right? So, but I think a lot got put on him playing bad, but everybody on Texas really didn't play exceptionally well. Can't even speak. But yes, they bounced back. They played a lesser team in San Jose State.
Yep.
Yep. So he still threw a pick in that game. So yes, there's some things he needs to work on, but I think this was a confidence boosting game or restoring game. I want to see what happens now with the next 10 weeks. So I'm solo cup half full approach here. Yes, he did not play well, but I think you put him in one of the most difficult environments you could put him in right out of the gate. And to his credit, he did hold his own a little bit. Statistically, not so much, but I think he'll bounce back.
It seemed like he started getting a little bit of a grip towards the end of the game.
Right, but by then it was a little too late.
A little bit.
Yeah.
They still had a chance, but too little too late. Cam, you were high on Arch Manning, I think, just as all three of us were coming into the season. So, your opinion on it? Do you think he lost his Heisman possibility? I know it becomes a short list pretty quick in NCAA. So
yeah, I think, to be honest with you, I think he did lose it. Not so much of what he did, more so of what other quarterbacks have done week 1 and week 2. I mean, I think what, we look at what the Clemson LSU game, what both those quarterbacks were able to do. Their defense is more probably elevated themselves, but the quarterback numbers were still really good. And those are those numbers. Then you go around the country and you look at what Bryce Underwood did week 1. Now, he's not a Heisman favorite by any stretch of the imagination, but he had a great week 1.
Very
look
efficient.
What I think it's John Mateer, John or Jake Mateer,
Oklahoma
quarterback, has just lit it up. And then if you look Heisman, you may look at, we've only seen one receiver win recently, but what's his butcher's name out in Ohio State too?
Was it Marvin?
No, not
Jeremiah.
Jeremiah
Smith.
Jeremiah Smith has been phenomenal out in Ohio State. Who will have
Talking about this year? Yeah,
this year. Who will have some? I'll go say some maybe 250. I wouldn't be surprised a 300-yard game this year. The kid is phenomenal. Then you can go around the SEC and look at more players. So I think he may have lost it based off of what other people have done and will do this year. Not that he may have won it, but I think if he came out against Ohio State, put up 300 yards, 300 yards, 2 or 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, even in a loss, we might have looked at him and said, this dude is it. But that didn't happen. So I think we're going to push into the back of our mind. Nick's right. He's got some huge games this year. He goes, I think they play Florida. They have a huge game with Georgia, at Georgia. So he could redeem himself there. I think they play Texas A&M too, who's really good. They'll play at Kyle Field. So there are some options and opportunities for him to get back. But I don't think going forward he's going to be looked at as the favorite based off of the other people we're seeing, which actually for him might be better.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, it might be better. I think the expectation is very high for him. Even last year we knew, hey, Quinn Ewers is messing up, Arch should be in. There were a ton of games that we thought they would have won had Arch played. And it's a little hard pill to swallow. Game 1, Arch plays and they lose. But I think last year, without the expectations, he played great. we put expectations on him, and he didn't play that great to game 1. Now, also, if you do some history on it, a lot of the receivers were hurt during practice. Some of them came back the day before the game, so there's that chemistry issue there. I didn't think they played a great game in the beginning. I think he needed a lot of help. They dropped a lot of passes, some bad reads. Anything that could go wrong went wrong in the first half. Cleaned it up a little when it kind of didn't matter, but he'll be fine. I just don't think he'll be a Heisman favorite, but that won't depict his season. I think he's still in the driver's seat. They're still going to make I think they'll still make the college football playoffs. Will they be a top 3 seed? Maybe not, but Texas will be a team to be reckoned with. So I think Arch is fine.
So you said he lost it this year.
I
Heisman.
I think he lost being the favorite.
Right. Okay. Gotcha.
And if he's not on a ballot later, it's not because of this game.
Yeah.
It's because everybody else stepped up.
Right.
Because I think we're waiting for if John, I hate saying, can someone look his name up to make sure it's John real quick? I think it's John. Is it John Mateer or Jake Mateer? Mateer. I know it's Mateer.
Which one's Mateer?
The Oklahoma quarterback.
I think
It's John.
It's John, right? Good, I'm not butchering it. So if John plays the way he's been playing all year long, and they're just killing it, then Arch will never pass John. If Garrett continues to what he's doing and puts up these numbers, 200 plus, 300 plus yards, because don't forget, he was the 4th leading yards per total yardage quarterback last year. The top 3 all went to the NFL.
Yeah.
So by default, he should be coming back in and being the best.
Right.
If he does what he's expected to do, Arch ain't gonna have a shot. So, again, this was the launching point for him. It didn't happen. Not the end of the world. Texas can still hit every goal they wanted to make this year. Arch just needs to work on some things. So he's not the favorite. He'd be a long shot to win, but it is what it is. He probably will not get the call to go to New York City before the call.
All right, so quick subtopic then. Could be a quick answer if you want it to be, but
Sure.
I'll start with Nick here. Do you think Arch Manning, if he has a down or a year, comes back for one more year?
Yes.
Cam?
I think if his numbers are average, he comes back. If he can find a way to play up to the expectation level that we have for him,
Right.
which is like, let's say, top 3 in total yards,
Yeah.
top 3 in total touchdowns, I think he goes.
Because obviously, like you guys said, he barely played any snaps before he even became a starting quarterback for this team. Last year, he was kind of plug and play. They did sort of like the Ravens put Lamar Jackson in every now and then for wildcat backup quarterback. You know, they put him in at receiver, they put him in here and there, and then let him make a play. You know, they'd pull Ewers, they would put Arch in, and he would usually run the ball. So, I guess I thought it was underwhelming, his debut, and I didn't think that beating up San Jose was really that impressive, in my opinion.
I will say this, that if you watch the game, he did struggle in the first quarter against San Jose. They were really bad. I think they were prepped for him. But once he settled down,
it might just be nerves. You don't know.
And I think
and
that's what
opening up with this powerhouse like Ohio State, that's difficult for somebody that's just starting to come off play a team that was already feeling a certain way that they weren't ranked number 1.
Who they also lost to in the playoff last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. You think,
True.
Yeah, and I think that...
And they were expected to win. So
that's a shame.
All right, well, we're going to move on to another college football topic here because Bill Belichick's North Carolina Tar Heels faced off against TCU in the opener. Was that a Sunday night game?
Monday night.
It was Labor Day, right?
The only game everybody was watching on Monday.
Yep. And that score looked like the age gap between him and his girlfriend. It's like 48-14. So he did bounce back this past week. Yesterday.
Call it A minor.
Yeah. 20-3. Who did he play? Another Carolina team, maybe.
Let
me see.
Charlotte.
Yep, another North Carolina team. Who cares? Not really impressive at all. They only won 20-3.
Really?
Yeah. So, do we think Belichick is going to succeed as an NCAA coach? Do we think that he has enough? Cam, I'll start with you. Take it however way you want it. Do you think the team's good enough? Do you think Belichick's NFL wisdom is going to impact anything in NCAA?
So I'm gonna do a parallel for you here.
Yep.
I'm gonna equate it to Deion Sanders. You both took over schools in Power 5 conferences, but you took over the bottom level of the schools to prove a point. Sometimes the school you take over, people just you'll never be better than some of the other schools. It's that simple. We're not going to look at UNC and be like, oh, they're Clemson, they're going to beat Clemson. Look, if they beat Clemson, it's an upset. Because you don't have the talent Clemson has. You don't have the coaching Clemson has. You have NFL experience, but this is the college game. It's different. You don't even have the fan base Clemson has.
And only a certain amount of coaches in the NFL have succeeded in NCAA.
Exactly, and I do think Bill Belichick can succeed, but I think he needs NFL players or pre-NFL players to succeed. UNC is a great school, but it's not 100% football school. He needs certain players. Now, had he gone to, let's say, a Florida State or a Miami that has the pedigree, the culture, and then can pull those 5 stars left and right, we'd be looking at a completely different scenario. You didn't do that.
Put him in the SEC.
Deion's the same way.
Yeah.
Had you gone to a Big 12 school that can pull, had you gone to Texas Tech, let's say that example. Mahomes went, there's a huge school thing with it right now. Baylor was recently doing well. You went to one of those schools, you're pulling the 5-star recruits. Colorado, kids are going there because of your name, not because it's a good program. You haven't won. So, do I think they'll succeed? I think they'll be decent. Maybe they have 1 or 2 great seasons, and by great, I mean 10 wins. But if we look at your schedule, it's probably not amazing, but still you won 10.
Yeah.
I don't see them being perennial powerhouses in either one of their conferences because that's not the school you chose to go to. You'll be successful. You'll be a 500-plus coach. You won't win an ACC title, just like Deion won't win a Big 12 title. That's your ceiling. What have we been saying about Deion? Should have gone to Florida State. Or same thing we're going to say about Bill Bellichek. Should go to a school where you can pull the people.
And for a defensive-minded coach, Florida State is pretty up on their defense. So.
And can you imagine what Florida State is doing this year? By the way, we'll step aside. Remember, Florida State won 2 big games with great transfers. Imagine Deion Sanders there pulling the Colorado kids. He's getting some of those 5-star recruits to Florida State. That's a whole nother level of talent and competition you're going to be at. You're not going to get that at UNC. You're not going to get that at Colorado. And if you do get it, you won't sustain it. Because if you sustained it, we'd be talking about those schools every year, which we're not.
Nick, your thoughts?
How much do I have in my cup here? No, just kidding. So, previous little topic, I was solo cup half full. This time, I'm going solo cup half empty on Bill Bellichek and the Tar Heels of North Carolina. Reason being is a lot of points that Cam mentioned. You are basically recruiting on your name and your, say, legacy from the NFL. It's one thing to have a winning coach from the NFL that could show you what you need to do to get to the NFL level. But it's another thing to get those kids into the program and stick. I wouldn't be shocked if a lot of these UNC kids end up transferring after this year, because I think Belichick's coaching style, from what I've heard, I've never seen in person, obviously, but sometimes it can be very hard.
Very demanding, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a different way of coaching grown men versus they're still kids. They're 18, 19, 20
Very
years
young athletes, yeah.
Right, and they're very impressionable still. And this whole situation, with his girlfriend and I heard a thing where they said no Patriots like staff members or scouts have access to. It's like a zero tolerance.
Yeah.
So even if some scouts wanted to come evaluate your players, you're pretty much shutting the door for those kids to a degree. I mean, it's one team, or I don't know if they have that same rule for every team and their staff members. I don't know. So now, why would they have that? Because it sounds like Belichick wants to completely take over and do everything his way. At least that's the impression I'm getting.
So are you saying people from the Patriots can't go to North Carolina?
Nope, they can't watch practices. They can't
because he was associated with that team.
So the article that I was reading said because he's not allowed up there, he banned them from college.
And it's funny, like he won 6 championships there, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's just a weird thing to come out.
Yeah, he's not even allowed at the Patriot facility.
Yeah. Right. So it's a weird thing to come out, and you got blown out. I believe they were at home, right? When TCU lost. Michael Jordan himself was in attendance at that game.
They were at home, correct.
Mm-hmm.
And you get blown out in your first game. Now, TCU is a decent program. You know, they are a Power 4 school. But it does not bode well. And to Cam's point, I think they'd be a middle of the pack team at best, maybe 500. And this is probably a multi-year project. You know, this is going to take some time to really get fully immersed with his style, his players, recruiting, all that kind of stuff. So for the 2025 season, I am solo cup half empty on UNC. We will see how they recruit in the beginning of 2026. And we will see if the Belichick name holds any weight. That's my take.
So Nick's got a full solo cup now.
Almost
full. So there's a little bit room to talk about Bryce Underwood.
One thing before you move on, Bryce.
Sure.
2 things, actually. One, the direct quote is Bill Bellichek saying, "It's obvious I'm not welcome at their facility, so they're not welcome at ours." That's the direct quote from Bill Belichick. And
I
then
did read that, actually.
I think one of the things to keep in mind also is that, you know, the difference from NFL to college is if you're in college, you can choose to leave. You know, you don't have to stay.
So they basically just need to evaluate based off of film.
Yeah. So
they can't go to pro day
they're
practice.
not allowed up in the facility. Now, what that
can't see the day-to-day.
What that entails, I don't know. Are they allowed on grounds? Are they allowed? Can they look with binoculars, or are they just not allowed? Look, you get on grounds, you get arrested. I don't know. That's, you know, hopefully details come out.
And if Belichick has that authority to make that call,
I mean, he does, but I think he can only do it from the football stuff.
Gotcha.
So I mean, if Patriot recruits walk on campus, that's one thing. But in terms of sitting in the seats and evaluating the team, they're not allowed to do. Being in the meetings, interviews, they're not allowed to do.
That's crazy.
Which is,
it might rub people the wrong way.
Yeah. So you know, another thing too, and like I said, kids have the option to leave. You don't have to stay in the NFL. You're under 2-3 year contract. You need to honor. Well, you need to be there no matter what, unless the team chooses to release you. So in the college, it's like, what? You said this? Good luck, I'm out.
Yeah.
You know, and you don't have to wait for the full season. You can go out, I believe, the first 4 games, keep your year, and transfer. So I think it'll be an eye-opening for both teams. I agree with Nick. I think we'll see a lot of kids transfer out of UNC. But on the flip side, I think you'll see a lot of kids come to UNC. But I don't think UNC at this point is going to be a team where we're going to look and they're going to be playing week 1 in Alabama. Alabama, and Ohio State, and Notre Dame, and Florida State. We're not going to see that from UNC week 1 if they don't have a good year.
Yeah,
right.
But we can't think that Bill Belichick is going to be Jim Harbaugh either.
Right.
You know, I don't see that happening. Mm-hmm. But you know, anything can happen.
Another thing that we can get to in a couple weeks or something with the whole ban on Jim Harbaugh from college sports when he just went to the NFL anyway. What's the point of ban?
I think that goes to the point of who do you punish? You know, if the school doesn't know anything, is it fair to punish the school? Do you punish the players? Should the NFL get involved and punish the coach? Because, I mean, that's a shitty
we talked about this a couple weeks ago, actually, right? With the death penalty?
Yeah, I mean, what do you do to those teams or that person?
Yeah.
You know, it's a.
And Harbaugh pulled off in the NFL big upset with Herbert
Yeah.
on Thursday night, opening day. All right, let's move. If you hear a loud screeching in the background, that is one of the 3 rotating cats in this house. Anyway.
You have cats?
Yeah.
Really? I've only seen the one right there. I didn't see. There's 3.
You heard another? Yeah, there is. There's 2 my mother-in-law had or have. Right here. Yep. She's a mice-killing machine.
That's good though.
And you live in the woods.
We saw 6 of them outside the other day.
Dead?
Yeah. She brought them back and she came bearing gifts.
Can we hire her?
All right. Bryce Underwood. Nick.
Uh-oh.
Let's fill your cup the rest of the way up here.
Oh God. Okay.
One of the biggest off-season stories for NCAA was Bryce Underwood committed to LSU. I just have to rub that in. He committed to LSU.
You sure you don't want to fill his cup?
Yeah.
I know his cup's going to stay empty until he pours. Because I know he's got to shoot on this. So then
I'll just leave the
he
cap
decommits
out.
from LSU and signs a $10 million NIL deal with Michigan.
Crazy.
And he opened up, had a very efficient day, his first game. And then yesterday he played Oklahoma. This is Michigan versus Oklahoma. At Oklahoma, right?
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Did not look so great.
Mm-mm.
Nick, we obviously have at least another year or 2 of Bryce Underwood. Do you think he will remain the starting quarterback for Michigan throughout that time?
It's interesting because I want to say yes, but I'm going to say I don't know. Because we have one decent to better than decent game, and then we have one decent to not so decent game. I think, for me, the jury might still be out. I think Michigan still has a lot on their plate to get through, right? They still got to play Ohio State. I believe they also, do they play Penn this year? Penn State.
I want to say they do.
Right, so they're playing in the Big Ten. They got some prominent names that they still got to go through. And I was watching the second half of the game last night, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, if Michigan's going to get back in this game, he has to make plays.
They do not play Penn State.
Okay, they do not.
So it's Ohio that plays Penn.
So what's the rest of their schedule?
So let's clarify this. They play no ranked teams until the last game of the year.
Which is Ohio State.
At home.
At home. And they've beaten Ohio State 4 times in a row, I believe.
I feel like it's longer than that.
I don't know.
I thought it was
It's
like
longer
10.
than that, but I don't think it's 10.
I don't
But
think
it's
it's 10.
I think it's like 6. I'll look it up.
Either way. So, no ranked opponents up until Ohio State the rest of the way. So actually, they have a more favorable schedule than I thought they did going forward. They gave him a lot of money to be the starting quarterback, to poach him from LSU. So from a money perspective, I don't see any other quarterback that will go to Michigan for more money than he's getting. I just think that's not going to happen. So I would think he's starting the rest of the way this year and probably next year as well. And if it doesn't work out next year, he'll probably transfer, and Michigan will get a different quarterback then. I think.
What system would you think he would transfer into? A system like Oregon?
I think he would benefit more from being in a spread, like a run and gun offense, like an Oklahoma, an Oregon, or I know it's gonna sound a little weird, but even like a Baylor.
Okay.
I don't know if you saw what is his name, Sawyer Thompson.
Yes.
Yeah.
The other day, had 450 yards and 4 touchdowns. He also played pretty good against Oklahoma in week 1. Baylor's defense is just not very good. But a system like that, where he can kind of play loose and on the run and really throw it downfield and be surrounded by like speed players. I just don't think Michigan has a full like arsenal to be prominent in the Big Ten this season. Now, they'll recruit. They're still a big name. Maybe they are just a few pieces away, but we'll see what happens over the next 7-8 games, right? Because he could tear it up.
Yeah.
Over the next 7-8 games, and then we're like, oh, you see? He is worth $10 million. And then he'll throw 5 picks against Ohio State, and we're like, what the hell, man? So I don't know.
Looking at the history, Cam?
Yeah, I'm trying to find
I feel like it's going to be like an up and down kind of thing with him, where it'll come in waves, but then it'll also, like, the wave will eventually crash down and then pick up again. So I feel like, I think he's fine for now.
4 in a row?
4 in a row.
But I'll tell you what, I think he's really only got 2 years at Michigan, and then he's going to leave. So they got to do something over the next 7-8 weeks and next season. I don't think he spends 3 years at Michigan, but I could be wrong.
Cam?
What's your question?
It was, do we think that Bryce Young will remain the starting quarterback in Michigan after either this season or the next 2 seasons? Because I think, like
he's
Nick
a true
said,
freshman, so
yeah,
he's got to stay.
Yeah, Bryce Underwood. Let's see.
He's got to stay till the end of the 2027 season.
Right. And with the money they paid him, obviously he'll more than likely be.
We got to talk about this Bryce Underwood character.
Here we go.
No, you know what? Bryce Underwood is a phenomenal talent. We were very disappointed to have him leave our recruiting class at LSU. Do I think he would have been the starter this year? I don't know. But we could have been pretty good with him. I agree with you guys. I don't know if the Michigan system is right for him. I would love to see him in an Oregon system. Air raid, slight air raid, up tempo, get out, use your abilities. It did wonders for Bo Nix. Did wonders for a lot of Dylan Gabriel. Is it Dylan Gabriel? Yeah, yep. Dylan Gabriel. And the list goes on. So I think in an Oregon system, it'd be great. I'll be honest, had he gone to Georgia with those athletes, or even Clemson or Florida State, I think we would be talking to him at a different level. I don't think he will lose his starting quarterback job the next few years, only because they don't have anybody.
Right.
So I think by default he's going to get it no matter what. But if game 1 and game 2 are anything, it's showing that he is special. Now it's Michigan's job to find the talent to put around him, and to find, well, I should say to hope the schedule breaks for him. I think they got off easy. They don't play Penn State this year. I think Penn State is really good. They are my pick to win the Big Ten. And he's going to dodge that bullet, to have to play them once or possibly twice. So that is him. It's an uphill battle. You are in the upper echelon school of the Big Ten, but not, I would say, one of the top 2 schools at the moment. Or top 3 or 4, depending on if you look at the rankings. So I do see him being the starting QB for Michigan. I don't think there's, only because there is nobody else.
Right.
Unless there's a example, Joe Burrow out there, at a school, someone who's really good, just not getting an opportunity, who's going to transfer to Michigan, which I don't see, and outplay Bryce Underwood. It's just not going to happen. But if they don't get the weapons to put around him, he can be the best quarterback in the country. They ain't going to win. And then that goes to Nick's point. Does he transfer, or does he just go off the abilities that he has? But I think it's his job to make his teammates better too. I mean, you look at Lamar Jackson at Louisville. Can you name one receiver he played with?
No.
Exactly. No disrespect to those receivers. If we look, I'm sure we know who they are. But the point is that the talent level of him was there, and he made the receivers better, so we knew who they were, because he was obviously a run-first quarterback.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to have that kind of scenario at Michigan, and that'll depict his future. I hate to say it, but that'll be his future. I think he's a good quarterback. He'll start his whole time there. If he chooses to leave, it's because Michigan didn't do their job.
Right.
But if he leaves, they were struggling getting players. So I don't know where they're going to go if he leaves. And I think the question for Michigan also is, on a side note, that's going to affect their recruiting, which could reflect whether or not he stays, is what does the NCAA do for punishment for Jim Harbaugh? is there a lasting effect of that? If you're going to lose players or get a bowl game ban, players are going to be out. It's that simple. I mean, we didn't look it up. I don't know if they got punished yet. I don't think they did. They may have. I don't think so. So we'll find out when the punishment comes down. And at that note, does he stay or does he go? Was the $10 million investment worth it? Game 1, yes. Game 2, you got some work to do. But not him. It's more Michigan, the school, getting players to come than it is his talent, because his talent level is there.
Cool. Well, let's, now that we're wrapping up our main portion of the day here, let's highlight some of our favorite college football either moments or games that you watched these past 2 Saturdays. Nick, I'll start with you.
So remember, I was half full, half empty, right before. It's almost empty this time, guys. Don't worry. We're not going too crazy. It's going to be full for the USF Bulls, baby. Yes, South Florida. Not 1, but 2 ranked wins. The only school in Division 1 with 2 ranked wins. There's only been 2 games, but Boise State, smash.
Arguably should
Like
not
Heisman.
be ranked.
Get probably. They go into Gainesville, Florida. And I'm going to save a little bit of the point I'm making for later in the show.
Oh, no, Rants.
Hints. But they go into Gainesville, Florida. I know I said off record, their defense is legit. I'm saying on record, their defense is legit. Not only did they outgain Florida in yards, they won the game. They held Florida to 16 points. 18-16. And their quarterback, was it Byron Brown? I believe that's his name. Either way, the quarterback, South Florida, is a monster. A baby monster in the making.
He looks like Cam Newton trucking over people.
It's very Newton-esque. And next week, they have yet another ranked matchup against Miami. And if they win that game, I'm playing. Look at this camera right now. I'm telling you right now.
Look at the camera.
On camera.
Cam, look at the camera.
He doesn't have to.
Camera.
Cam. The Cam.
Pushing my buttons on this camera.
Cam.
It is Byron Brown.
It is Byron Brown. All right, cool. Not only if they are less than 3 touchdown underdogs against Miami this weekend, they are going to win that game. They will then run the table for the regular season. They will go undefeated. They will win the American Conference, and they will be the sole non-power school in the playoff. So make sure you guys look for the lines. If they are less than 21-point underdogs, I'm taking South Florida.
Cam, you have any highlights these past 2 weeks?
Oof.
Is this an LSU rant here?
Are
you upside on Mr. Nussmeier?
I am going to. You know what? I will go to LSU, but I love Garrett Nussmeier, but I'm going to go a different route, and I'm going to talk about a player who I am very happy is back and healthy, and that is Harold Perkins.
By the way, I think I just saw Dalton Knox teabag someone on the Ravens. But go ahead.
Talk to your boy.
I thought you only drink decaffeinated tea.
Yeah, so? No one said there was caffeinated.
I am going to go with Harold Perkins. The one thing we were missing last year on our team is, I think, speed, aggressiveness. The Weeks brothers have been great at linebackers. First of all, there's 3 brothers on the same team all playing at a high level. I think that's phenomenal. The Weeks brothers, they have weird numbers, which is kind of funny, but I think Harold Perkins completes that defense. And to watch him, I know he didn't get the sack officially on Cade Klubnik to end the game, but to see the speed come off the edge, which is what made him a freshman All-American after his ACL tear last year, it just makes me happy to see that this dude is back after an injury. And nobody's talking about him nationally yet, which means if Nick gets his way, the Eagles will draft him.
I just wanted to know. He said that.
That's not
I
true.
did not say that.
Go back to our draft episode. He was saying it too, hoping Harold
Well,
Perkins.
I'm just saying right
hoping
now.
Harold Perkins would declare.
This is Cam saying if we get I just want to clarify.
But that's what it is, and I think he drastically changed the defense. Yes, we brought in the number 1 recruiting transfer class. Great. But I think Harold Perkins finishes off that defense. So to me, it was seeing him come back and play phenomenal. As I said earlier, John Mateer, I think he might be our Jackson Dartish quarterback this year to keep an eye on, based off the way he's putting up numbers. He plays a little giant, Johnny Manziel-ish. But no, I think there were a lot of good themes throughout the weeks that we had this year. Some schools, Army's not the same. Unfortunately, I don't think we'll get a story there this year. Boise State's not the same. I don't know if there's another school outside of USF, that's going to make us all want to watch. But at this point, Notre Dame lost some games. Well, I'm not a fan. Happy about that. But we'll throw it out there. Andrew, I hate your team. But no, I think that's stuff that we'll all get into, and I think it's a good year. And for those of us looking, we do have the Buffalo-Baltimore game on, so if you see our eyes, that's what it is.
Yeah.
But I think that's it. That's my storyline. Harold Perkins Jr. coming back, because I think if he gets back to his All-American level, not only is he possibly the best linebacker in the country, I think LSU has a shot to go very far.
Nick was antsy to say something.
One, I agree. I think he's going to be an Eagle next year. I don't know. We'll see.
Side note: we're also on record of Nick saying that Chandler Parsons is going to be an Eagle after
Well,
he leaves
he
to Dallas
got
and signs.
I got to eat crow on that. He was traded to a team that's green in the NFC. I was close. I was close.
He was. We'll give him credit.
There's an E in Green Bay, or two, but one other team that I've been actually paying attention to is UNLV, because they beat our favorite quarterback Nico Amaliva and UCLA. They are now 3-0, and
he's the one that transferred, right?
Yep,
yes.
from money, even though I'm not saying.
And I know we all know who Tommy Cutlets is, right?
Yeah.
DeVito. We may have a new Italian quarterback coming through from UNLV. Tony Colandrea. Shumadish. How you doing? 3-0, winning the Mountain West. Let's go. Also, Iowa State's going to be good this year, too.
Yeah, let's give some credit and some love out to. I know, you brought his name up, Imaliva. And, think about how good Tennessee was last year. With that quarterback, they were some people picked them to win a national title, especially in the format. And if you've watched their games, I know he transferred. We all thought, are they going to take a step back? They are better this year than they were last year with Joey Aguilar.
Which is the risk that we were worried about when he transferred.
Which is funny because you think about it almost, and we're like, well, what did UCLA do last year when Joey Aguilar was on that roster during the summer? So and then he transferred and was on the roster for like a week, and I think he transferred again. But you let this dude walk out the door, and like we were saying with Arch Manning on Heisman favorites, if Tennessee runs the table for a good chunk, we're going to be looking at Joey Aguilar the same way we looked at Joe Burrow as, look, you went to a team from a school, you didn't get a lot of playing time in his turn, you went to a small school, you go to a school with athletes, good receivers, good defense, good coach, good fans, good stadium, and you beat teams that you weren't expected to beat because other people left.
That catches the eye.
It catches everybody's eye, and you're going to think that a lot of these quarterbacks shoot up the board. I know we're looking at Cade Klubnik, I think they said, is one of the number one quarterback prospect right now. But Nussmeier, Mateer, Aguilar, the list is
Diego Padilla.
Thank you.
Yeah, go Diego, go.
The list is gonna go up. What's his name from Florida? Is it Florida State freshman quarterback too? He's not a freshman.
Jimmy Castellanos.
Das Castellanos.
I think he's a senior, right?
Yeah,
he was at Boston College.
If he has a great year, the sky's the limit. And I think right now, and that's why I said I think Arch would lose the Heisman, not because of he plays
everyone else is stepping up.
Because everybody is elevating their game.
Well, you brought it full circle.
Yeah.
Well, it also makes you want. I know I don't mean to set us back a little bit on time, but going back to Arch a little bit, you mentioned how many quarterbacks that are potentially going to come out this year too.
Yeah.
So that could also weigh into him staying.
Yeah.
Because where
If
you're
he starts
drafted
going-
affects
yeah.
how much you get paid.
Yep.
Yeah.
They don't have a good, if he doesn't have like the elite numbers, he might want to stay and
True.
just shorten up the pool for next year.
Yeah.
Well, I know his dad said he's coming back this year, but let's be honest about this.
It's his decision.
If Arch goes 350 the rest of the 300,
Yeah.
350 the rest of the year, he's not coming out.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Or even if he balls out in the playoff.
Yeah.
and that's the thing. He takes Texas national title, and he's the reason they win. He's got to go.
Yeah.
Because anything less than that, will hurt
Yeah.
his stock.
You win Natty, you go.
You win a natty, you go.
So.
Because he redshirted, right?
I believe he's
He's a redshirt. He's a redshirt sophomore.
I believe
he can go after this year. I believe.
Yeah, he's eligible. I believe.
He's
I believe he's
eligible.
eligible, yeah.
This is year 3. Because he played. Yeah, he played behind what's his name. So
he was behind Ewers last
he's
year.
behind Ewers. So
Yeah.
I think he can go after this year. And I'm going to look that up just to make sure. Because I know some people out there will look it up and say
Because I believe last year he was a redshirt.
it's called BS. So let's head that off right now.
See, we do live.
Who is sitting out there
live
just
fact
waiting?
checking.
Somebody's
Yeah.
waiting
We always
to
fact
say,
check live.
Someone just like, yeah.
Yeah. Keyboard
Yes,
warrior
No,
back
Cam,
there.
you're wrong. Actually.
Yeah, right. So,
Nah.
Actually, at the 56-minute mark, you said this.
so
Right,
here he is.
timestamp it, yeah.
So he did 03, 04, and this is 05. So he can go 03 to 04, 04 to 05, 04 to 25, and 25, 26. So he can go this year if he wants to.
Mm-hmm.
So
Cool.
that's what we're
Well, that wraps up our main section here. So we are going to get to the very last dedicated out-of-pocket segment. Cam wanted to cut it off last week. I said I end things on my terms.
I still want to
I
cut
end
it
it
off.
while I'm hosting.
It's my
So-
house.
Last week, just for everyone's reference, Cam was a little upset that I was talking about midgets. Now, I think we are going to be offending a much smaller, no pun intended, audience. This week we're talking about orphans. When I was at Virginia Beach, I was watching orphan baseball. It was the 13th inning. Score was 0-0. I couldn't figure out what was going on, why they were scoreless.
Is this a
Then I
thing?
realized they can't find home. Funnier,
Oh my god.
funnier, they zoomed in on a couple people in the audience. They were drinking Foster's beer.
Oh my goodness.
So I had a long drive.
Australian for beer.
So, on my drive from Virginia Beach to North Carolina, I had a lot of time to think.
I can't.
What sport would orphans really thrive in? I gotta get it out. And I was thinking,
I don't know, Matt. What?
I was gonna say tennis because they'll get some love, but ironically that means 0. So, can't offend their parents on this episode. Yep.
This is your fault. You encouraged it.
First of
You
all,
encouraged it. You encouraged it.
I
You encouraged it. By the way, Home Goods pillows, go.
listen. I'm being given free beverages. I can't. You know, very special
You know
beverages.
what?
I
Let's
can't,
let's call a spade. A spade. And explain why some of these comments are out of pocket. We did a show. Oh, we're famous. Did a show. We did a segment about week 1 or week 2, and there was a comment made. I don't think you made it. I think Nick made a comment in his rant. And I just went like this because it was so off topic. And Matt thought it was the funniest thing. So Matt's whole goal has been to say out of pocket stuff to get me to do this.
We need a.
To be fair, that is real life too.
It is real life. I do it in real life. So you are now seeing all the debauchery that I go through on a daily, hourly basis with Matt.
Hourly, yeah.
When it comes, like, I get phone calls every day at 10 o'clock at work from me.
This guy said because on the way home today from our football game, he was like, "You were so good on the drive up, and you had to start. You just had to start."
And the guys, he was so good today, and I get that soliloquy of nothing. that
It's too bad Tommy already pulled off.
I know. I got a pair of boots and a comments from Matt. This is great. But we're gonna let Matt continue because we're gonna beat this out of him after halftime.
I think going forward, we should add a little bell and like a facepalm counter. And every time he does, we just go bing.
Oh no!
Speaking of counters,
no, we're going.
We need to keep.
Not happening.
Speaking of counters, because I am for that. That's a 2-to-1 ratio. Two out of three. Sorry.
No.
We have another counter. Me and Nick had a bet about the Steelers-Jets game.
Yes, we did.
And boy, was it a nail biter because it was touch and go for a while for me. Nick wasn't here, but we had a group of people here watching. I'm ignoring that.
Okay.
And I was getting
Arthur Fist.
Yeah, I can't close this fist, but it was closing.
Yeah.
So Steelers ended up winning. So Nick owes two beers.
2 bottles. Yeah. 2
I
bottles.
was gonna say 2 bottles. Yeah.
So
2K.
I do. I lost.
So
I did.
Being that we're drinking Hennessy this show, if you want to bring them for the next show, I'll share them.
Okay.
So get some like local IPAs or something that we could taste test and shout out the businesses local to us.
I got you.
So as much as we want to promote our brand, we'd also like to help other businesses thrive too.
And that's also, feel free to sponsor us too. With
Yeah.
other brands if you happen to stumble across us.
True. So now Baywoods Bets is back.
Which you will when there's no more Cam palming his face because of the comments.
It won't be intentional, but it still will happen periodically.
Nobody wants controversy like Matt's comments.
Baywoods Bets returned.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get my last segment out of the way here before we get into to everyone's other favorite segments. So I had Kelsey or Pacheco anytime touchdown. That was a DraftKings special.
Please sponsor us.
And what was the other one I had? It was opening night, right? It was Eagles. I teased the Eagles. It was 3. They had to win by 3 and score over 42 total. That hit. All of us were watching the game together. We all much enjoyed ourselves. Watching the Cowboys lose on a weekly basis is awesome.
That's what you get, Dak.
And
Dak.
Oh, I thought you said dad. I was like,
no, what Dak?
We are currently
Dak
watching the
would never
Baltimore.
Luke.
No.
We are currently watching Baltimore versus Buffalo, so we're gonna see how this wraps up. But I have Baltimore winning this game. Cam,
Yo.
let's move on to your jams of the week. You got sports are back.
Yes.
You have a jam of the week already?
Look.
I know you might have a few because college football is like your thing.
And that is where we are staying because I am a huge college football fan, and we actually have some doozies this week. Nick teased us a little earlier. We have a USF Miami matchup. USF had Jeff.
Not to
Jeff
be confused with the USFF or USAID.
Whatchamacallem. Oh, and down goes Lamar Jackson. USF has upset 2 ranked teams back to back, and they get maybe their toughest test in Miami coming up this week. So that'll be an interesting game to watch. I'm actually excited to watch that one because I want to see how good both teams really are.
Yeah.
I think this is a huge test for Miami. I think this will be a huge test for USF. And also, if you like border wars, you will see Georgia, Tennessee this week.
Ooh.
That'll be a good one.
Those
Those are
good one
2
too.
highly ranked teams.
Yeah.
I think it's not a top 10 matchup anymore. But it's
My
top.
prediction, this is an early bet from Baywoods Bets. Georgia's going to lose that game.
I would tend to agree. I think Georgia will lose the game. Georgia, Tennessee, and then we have a Notre Dame, Texas A&M matchup. So our Saturday for college football will be covered.
What time's the Miami game? Is it early?
No, it's a late. 4:30.
4:30. Okay.
So South Florida, Miami's at 4:30. Your Georgia, Tennessee game. Oops, hold up. Georgia, Tennessee is at 3:30. Oh, so you're gonna have to choose what you're gonna want to watch. And then Texas A&M versus Notre Dame, where I think A&M will upset Notre Dame, is at 7:30. So it'll be we got 3 good games to watch this weekend. You'll have to dual screen the other 2, but
which we will be doing.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay. So we will be doing that.
After Cam gets done with brunch, he waddles his way in here and.
First of all, I don't waddle.
Depends how drunk you are.
He floats.
You don't drink.
He floats.
But those are 3 games that we'll keep an eye on this week. I've made it clear to somebody else. I think September, October, November is the best month of the year for sports, but we're in a good spot. So I can't wait to see how, especially these 3 games play out. 1 conference game and 2 out of conference games will be entertaining to see.
Cool. Well, now we are moving on to our favorite topic, or everyone's favorite segment. Nick, what are we ranting about this week?
Before I begin, it's the very special rant this week.
Yeah.
Product placement, of course, in the cup. So,
I'm going to write down what I think your rant is about because you don't tell us.
I don't.
So I'm going to see.
I like to keep the surprise and the intrigue, not just for the viewers, but for my co-host as well.
And we are surprised.
It's very special to me.
Yeah, we don't know, for everyone's reference, what Nick
They don't
rants
know
about
what I'm
until
going
it
to say
happens.
until it happens.
All right, I sent
So,
you to Baywood.
I mentioned earlier in the show, one of my highlights for college football so far was South Florida.
Okay.
And I've been very impressed with what I've seen from the Bulls.
Mm-hmm.
As I was, reading some post-game articles and, doing my due diligence for tonight, I stumbled upon a couple bits of information about the Florida Gators that I must express because I'm not sure if everyone is aware. Oh, we just got sacked. Florida, as we all know, as we just said, they lost. They were upset at home to USF.
Mm-hmm.
On the final drive of the game, one of the Florida defensive linemen spat in the face of a USF offensive lineman. He was ejected, 15-yard penalty, extended their drive, and pretty much the next play they got like 30 yards, and it helped set up their game-winning field goal. So that was one. He tried to be Jalen Carter.
Oh.
Only difference is Dak deserved it.
Well, Jalen Carter before Jalen Carter.
That no good, dirty Dak Prescott with your 863-year-old owner. But anywho, this is about Florida. I don't know if you also know that this game was part of a 3-game agreement between USF and Florida. So the first 2 games, I believe, were in 21 and 22. One was in Tampa Bay because they play where the Buccaneers play.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second one was in Gainesville. Florida won both those games. Last night, was the 3rd game of that contract. But so the first 2 games were $250,000 each for them to travel. So USF got $250, Florida got $250, right? For Florida to get this extra home game as part of the series, it was $500,000 to USF to come travel again to play Florida. So not only did they lose at home because a player spat on another player, USF got paid $500 bids. That is worse than $25K a cheek.
That's
Shannon Sharp.
That's one expensive loogie.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And now their head coach of Florida, I'm calling it right now because we looked at their schedule off air.
Oh, yeah.
They might not win another game this season. Off you go, sir. Yeah, that is a very expensive loogie. So not much of a provocative rant, but I just wanted to get that little nugget out there just to show even a historic college program like the University of Florida can be straight ass cheeks on the field and in contractual negotiations.
Yeah.
You are paying to lose. Bums. They might not win another game this year. That's all I'm gonna say.
They have a very hard road.
That is worse than Shannon Sharp paying $25K a cheek. Literally. Straight up.
Hey, when you got the money, I guess.
They put the bum in bumper clock.
That's a fist fight moment.
Yeah. So, cheers to you, University of Florida. Dumb fucks.
I will come lose for $500K. let me know when you
I didn't get to choose anything, so I'll just choose this.
Mm. The cup is completely empty on the University of Florida.
Yeah, it's oh my god. You know, I was reading that article about teams paying other teams to come lose, and I can't think of who the other team was that upset, but they got $1.175 million. We were talking about that earlier, to lose the game, and they won. So
I wonder how much Baylor got paid to go to SMU, because they upset them too.
Yeah. Yeah, that to me it's on the level of I want to find out how much money.
You think NIL money's bad for these players?
Yeah, but what about the
Alright, so the Ravens special teams is terrible.
Appalachian State when they beat Michigan?
Oh my God!
How much did they get paid to go in and supposedly lose?
Adjusted for inflation, probably a lot, because that was a long time ago.
That was crazy.
And you know what's even funnier is I know you mentioned that that was the first game on the Big Ten Network.
Yeah, no.
And did you know that the Big Ten Conference is now, like, as an intellectual property, is now worth like $1 billion?
Yeah.
They're worth more than the NCAA.
And their teams are terrible in most sports.
We got breaking news.
Breaking news.
Jerry Jones was found alive at the Cowboys facility this weekend.
Oh,
Damn it.
Actual breaking news.
Not damn it. I shouldn't say that. That sounds really mean. He actually did. He was actually just celebrated his birthday. He's now 2,641 years old.
Congratulations!
So happy birthday. And I thought that they showed pictures of Allen's wedding. They were holding up their rings like this, and I was just like, "What the fuck is going on?" But anywho, yeah.
Well, that wraps up our newly shortened show.
Any last
anything
words
before we leave on our
Last
first
words? First
on camera?
live? Yeah.
Yeah, was there anything else that stood out to you this week in sports overall?
Sabalenka, 2 U.S. Opens in a row.
Yeah.
I did see that. So congratulations. And that's pretty much it. The Yankees got to stop losing. That's about
Are
it.
they out of the playoffs now?
No, but they're like
They're
on the
close.
verge of being a wild card. There's like 2.5, 3 weeks left of the season.
Yeah.
I mean, shout out greatness where greatness is. I mean, Paige buckets.
Paige.
What do we want to say?
Caitlin who?
Yeah, oh, by the way, Caitlin Clark is sitting the rest of the year. They had
Yeah.
shut her down. So my thing is, and I would be very interested to see, which I don't think they will, because why would you? Do you refund fan tickets or move games back to where they were? Or do you go with potential stadiums that, or do the stadiums still fill up?
Well, it's even weirder because that, Indiana is still a potential playoff team with a couple games left to play.
Yeah. But do they,
So I don't understand, like, her injuries must be worse than what's being reported, and they say that.
So, and that was my thing too, but I think what they did was, and I can't speak to it 100%, but I think the fear was if we say she's not coming, or she's not playing, people will...
Does that count as... No, it doesn't. It's got to be down right there, right?
Well, it
hit the Buffalo player first,
Yeah,
so
so
it's down there.
I think the question will be were they afraid that people would want ticket refunds? Whether they won't buy tickets, but if we say she's coming back, the revenue will still come in. I think that's probably why they did it. However, I think you screwed a lot of people over if that's why you did it. So I think they just be honest. Look, she's not coming back.
Yeah.
We'll see you next year.
Yep.
That's it.
If people put
There's
their
plenty
tickets,
of other talent to watch.
yeah, if people don't buy tickets, that's more on them than it is on her. But her health should be first. But at this point, like you said, it's Caitlin who, because she's not playing. She hasn't played since
It's
right
like
after the
injury
All-Star.
after injury after injury after injury.
They showed a thing where she hadn't played in 5 consecutive games at any point this season.
No,
And was an all-star.
And the sad thing is,
Sounds like Kawhi Leonard.
Captain.
it's got nothing to do with
Just minus the fraud.
Yeah, well,
We don't know that yet. She might have a tree company too.
Yeah,
she got a few companies.
fair.
But
Shell Corporation.
I still feel, and I said it's not one of our topics. If you're not playing in games, you shouldn't be in commercials. I'm just throwing that out there. I think Paige has
Or
played,
have a podcast.
playoff P. But I think Paige has played great. I think she deserves everything she's getting. I think there's been a lot of players who played really well this year. without Caitlin Clark, and I think it's time to recognize those players.
Cool.
Phoenix Mercury, DeWanna Bonner, fan, welcome home. But
Well, that wraps up this show. So, you want to take us home while I walk over there?
Nah,
It's going to
sure.
zoom in on you on the way out.
As Matt, look at this nice close up. Like, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for staying in this whole time with us. This episode has been historic for us. It's our first time on camera, and we're glad that you're all here to enjoy it with us. I'm Nick Persampieri.
Cam Griffin.
And if you want to stick your face in there, Matt, real quick. Yeah, look at those things, man.
Those pearly whites.
That was Soundboard Poppy. When are you making your return, Soundboard Poppy?
I got to get something to connect to my seat over there so I can just press the button.
You need a long cord.
These are permanent seats.
We'll see, because I want to do Fire Pit episodes too.
Fair.
Outside. While the weather's
And we
nice.
want you guys there sitting by the fire with us. But that will come in time. But in the meantime, we'll be back next Sunday. So stick around, stay tuned. We love you.
Eat your vegetables.
And yeah, eat your damn vegetables. You get to grow big and strong. Look at those things. Look at those hams, man. We love you guys. Take care.